ATP, what it do? It's your boy Clay More Rain back at you guys with another one. Yeah, man, trying to stay on top of this, right? I'm doing pretty good with staying consistent with this content, right? Come on, man. Throw some likes up in there and some thumbs up. Put some comments in there. I'm being more consistent, man. I'm doing the right thing, right? Yeah. Shout out to all my subscribers. If this is the first time tapping into the content, you guys know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, hit your bell icon as well, so you are getting these alerts when all this content is dropping. So look, man, Arnold Barboza, Jack Catterall in the books. If you guys have been living under the rock or you're not watching the fight, I know it's over there in Manchester, England, and on a different time schedule is what we're used to seeing. But just a few hours ago, maybe an hour or so ago, we have a new WBO interim title holder. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Listen, I didn't give a breakdown or anything before this fight happened. When this fight got announced, I was like, all right. Jack Catterall, coming off of a performance like he did with Regis Prograis, clearly was trying to stake his claim in doing something in the sport and coming at a title. He avenged a loss that a lot of people thought he shouldn't even have had against Josh Taylor. And then, on top of that, avenging that loss, came and beat Regis Prograis. What was going to be the next step for Jack Catterall? People were rumoring, if you guys don't remember, the streets were rumbling of a potential Teofimo fight, or even him and Devin Haney at one point or another seemed like it was potentially on the horizon for happening. But ultimately, what we end up getting, Arnold Barboza, who himself vacated an interim WBO title, I think he was holding at one point in time at 140, an undefeated fighter who was always in line. The number one guy to be fighting against Teofimo Lopez was never actually able to get a fight with Teofimo, being that we've watched Teofimo in the past year and a half. It's been past 2 years, damn near. It's been a roller coaster ride with Mr. The Takeover Teofimo, to say the least, right? Been a roller coaster ride. Hasn't been fighting his mandatories. It's been difficult for Top Rank to actually put fights together with him, as he's picking tune-up or build-up fights such as with Steve Claggett and fights with Jermaine Ortiz, things of that nature, and just basically not being a productive member of society, in the boxing society, right? But that being said, don't want to hang on that too long. Arnold Barboza was looking for an opportunity to do something great. And look, the boxing gods blessed him and Jack Catterall and said, since both you guys are making a legitimate argument as to why you guys should be really number one in the WBO, why don't we have you guys fight each other? And I thought to myself, makes sense. Let's do it. Let's get it. Arnold Barboza, Jack Catterall. Now, I knew in my mind it would probably be a boring fight, knowing that Jack Catterall, the way he fights, he's going to slow that pace down. A southpaw who's going to stay and give an orthodox fighter issues, usually with the jab and obviously the feet being tangled up and things of that nature. And watching Arnold Barboza, how he's been fighting lately, looked like he's been picking his shots a little bit, slowing down the fight himself, as we saw him when he fought against Jose Ramirez. Going into the fight, it pretty much gave us what I thought it would. Not an exciting fight at all. I knew in the back of my mind that Arnold Barboza going over to Manchester, England, that this fight was going to have to look a certain way for him to be able to walk away with the win. Dare I say maybe even a domination or him knocking out Jack Catterall, being that I'm not trying to put any shade on Manchester, England, but it does seem like from time to time the judging there has been kind of swayed by maybe the reaction of the crowd, things of that nature, and the crowd's going to support Jack Catterall by any means. The fight not being that exciting, listen, a bunch of close rounds, many a swing rounds went down the way it did. At the end of the fight, I walked away really just kind of confused at who I want to give the win to. Really probably was leaning more towards Jack Catterall, just based off the fact that I thought the feeling in the building was going to make the difference. But look, things happen all the time. The winner ended up being Arnold Barboza, right? Arnold Barboza ends up walking away with a WBO interim title, back in that rat race again. Jack Catterall humble in his loss, the same way he's humble in his victories. Basically saying it wasn't his night, he wasn't good enough. I had no problem with the decision. So now we have Arnold Barboza as a WBO interim title holder in the 140-pound weight class division. But really, for Arnold Barboza, what does that put him right now? Seems like he just made a full U-turn on that block and just ends up now holding a title, a WBO interim title, and really just going to be paying a lot of sanctioning fees to defend this interim title, because it doesn't look like, if you ask me, that he's going to get a fight with Teofimo Lopez. We all know Teofimo Lopez holding that WBO championship and not defending it is diabolical at this point. But rumors going around that he may be looking to unify, potentially fighting a Richardson Hitchens. Maybe, maybe not. But the bigger rumor with Teofimo Lopez is that Teofimo Lopez plans on moving up to 147 pounds to compete against the likes of a Jerome Boots Ennis and ultimately take on the winner of Haney Garcia 2. Doesn't sound like there's any room in there for a Arnold Barboza Teofimo fight, but stranger things have happened, as we are now being made aware in the past week or two that Teofimo Lopez and Turki Al-Sheikh are working together, and that Turki Al-Sheikh has actually locked down a space in Alcatraz, San Francisco, for a big fight card being headlined by none other than Teofimo Lopez. Now, as I stated to you guys earlier, there were rumors spinning around about Teofimo Lopez fighting a Richardson Hitchens, trying to unify it, as Richard Hitchinson has become the new crowned IBF champion after he beat Liam Paro. But amazingly enough, again, although Teofimo's been announced to have this place locked down in July, and there'll be a fight with him in the headline, his actual opponent has not been announced. And if it was going to be Richardson Hitchinson, and I'm going to assume that it still is Richardson Hitchens, you would have thought the fight would have been in New York, maybe at the Barclays, maybe at Madison Square Garden, being that both are native of New York City. But as I stated before, stranger things have happened. We'll get to see whether or not Teofimo will actually defend his title against this interim champion that's newly crowned interim champion, and Arnold Barboza has been crowned, or whether or not he'll be heading into a unification. Either way, the 140-pound weight class division is still on standby, trying to figure out what Teofimo Lopez is going to do. Arnold Barboza will more than likely defend his title by that time, especially if he's not the one who's going to be fighting Teofimo, paying sanctioning bodies to be a WBO interim champion. It's real crazy when you really look at it, but it is what it is. Now, in other news, or in another perspective, I like Arnold Barboza potentially being raised up to a full WBO champion if Teofimo leaves the division. At least we'd see an active 140-pound weight class division. We probably see active unifications, and with Turki Al-Sheikh being involved in a lot of these fights being made, especially when it's involving Golden Boy, Matchroom, Top Rank, those entities. Listen, 140 at some point or another should kick up. But right now, we're still in the same position we were when we left. Congratulations to Arnold Barboza on winning that close split decision in Manchester, England. I can't believe he was able to pull that off. But look, he won. What's next? I don't know, because as long as it's involving Teofimo Lopez, you never know what to expect. It is what it is. You got to take it a day at a time. Congratulations to the new champ. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Now that Arnold Barboza is the WBO interim 140-pound weight class champion, how do you guys feel about it? Does this open up anything interesting? You think Teofimo and Arnold Barboza might go ahead and square it up? Or maybe the WBO do something crazy and strip, you know what I mean, Teofimo Lopez. Maybe they'll mandate it and put it out there and call for that bid to happen between Teofimo and Arnold Barboza, ultimately pressuring Teofimo to do one of two things. Either put a bid in for a unification with Hitchens, being that the unification trumps all mandatories, or go ahead and vacate that WBO belt, make your way up to 147 pounds and go be all you can be, allowing the 140-pound weight class division to move forward. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Rain. It's that ATP Combat Media Show. Shout out to all my subscribers. Again, thank you. You guys make this worthwhile, helping to build this platform, taking us to the next step. If this is your first time tapping into the content, don't waste another minute. Hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're hitting the bell icon as well, so you are getting alerts when all this content is dropping. And at this point, until the next episode, at this point, we out.